All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. I've been going over this program that I did on the fly that ended up taking a lot longer than I thought it would for Chapter 12 to go over some of the controls, just to refamiliarize you with it. What we have here is this right here is a panel that has two radio buttons in it. Then I've got a group box that has four check boxes in it. I've got a picture box here that's going to hold an image. I've got a month calendar control right here. I've got a date picker control right here. I've got a quote regular unquote list box right here. I've got a checked list box here. I've got a date picker here, and I've got a drop down here. And this is a link label. And we've got here a label, a label, a label, a label, a label, a label, and a label. When we click the calculate button, what should happen is the system should figure out basically everything that I've got checked or whatever, except for this one. What this one does is if I have the St. Louis checked, then a picture of the St. Louis Rankin campus will show up here. And if I've got Wentzville checked, it'll show a picture of the Wentzville campus. When I click clear, everything should clear out of here, out of here, out of here, etc. Exit should quit. And about should give me a little information about what's going on here. Now, I did show you this in the last lecture. Those are the components that are in here. So we've got four buttons, check boxes, we've got four of them, radio buttons, we've got two of them, link labels, there's one of them, list box, we have one that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 components in it, combo box, that's this one right here for the state, check list box rather has also got 7 things in it. Picture box is where we have the picture of the campus. The month calendar is when we want to schedule a visit. The date time picker is going to have basically the same date as the one that we chose up here. The group box is what is holding the check boxes. The panel is what is holding the radio buttons and the menu strip, which is up here. So as you can see, I have created all of my components, all 13 of my components. All right, let me run it first, and then we'll go back and take a look at it. So let's run it. The output is pretty ugly. I just threw everything into a list box. Notice how it's got a picture of the St. Louis campus, and when I click Wentzville, it changes to the Wentzville campus. I'm going to just highlight virtually everything here. Got multi-select here. These, I don't know. I thought they were multi-select, but it's still making me choose them individually. So like I said, this is going to be very ugly output, but it's functional. All right, let's schedule a visit on September 29th. Make it Thursday. And currently residing, let's say, in Arkansas. All right, I click calculate, and notice we get a lot of stuff here. All right, so we checked, as it says there, weekends, evenings, afternoons, mornings. All right. The date we selected was the 29th. We also changed this one so it was the 29th. The stuff that was selected in here as far as our list box stuff was everything. For the other box, which you can't see, and I can move this. That's checked everything. And current resident of Arkansas. So that appears to work. When I click clear, everything clears. That appears to work. The about gives me information. And I can also click calculate here. So I can click it here. Maybe I didn't put the code in there, but I don't remember. So let's check. Nope. So what I need is all of this stuff that is in here has got to also be here. All right, so let's run it one more time, and I'll just randomly grab a few things here. And now when I click calculate here, notice I get my stuff. Okay, the clear works, so I can do a calculate from here. Now there's nothing chosen, but you get that. I can do the clear from here, I can do the exit from here. One thing I wanted to do that I forgot to do is when you click calculate, all right, the first thing I want to do in either case is I want to take that list box, not the list box, I'm sorry, my result string. What was it called? Final results, I think it's called. And I'm going to set it equal to the empty string. And I want to quickly show you why I did that. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to, all right. So why did I do that? Well, before what happened was I selected a bunch of stuff. Again, it doesn't matter what we select in here. It's fine. Okay. And they're residing in Wisconsin. So everything's got something chosen now. I click calculate. Okay. But what happened before when I did this, now I can click OK. But if I click calculate again, what was happening previously is it was concatenating or just adding on to this list. Now I'm telling it to refresh what it's printing out every time. So let's go and look first on how the clearing was done. Okay, so notice that when we click the button or when we click the menu, we're calling clear controls in both cases. And I tried to be very, I tried to make sure that I used names that were symbolic of what was going on. So this should clear the radio buttons, clear the check boxes, clear the picture box, reset that month calendar, clear the list box, clear the checklist box, clear the date time picker, and clear the combo box. So first, clear the radio buttons. We set their check value on both to false, so now nothing is highlighted. All right, next was clear the check boxes. Same thing, check is set to false for morning, afternoon, evening, and weekend. All right. All right, next was the picture box. We just set the image to null, so there was nothing in there. Next, reset the month calendar, which basically just set it to the current date, which is what it's supposed to be set to by default anyway. Then we cleared the list box. This took a little while, and to be honest with you, I went and looked online for a good way to do this. You know, I Googled basically clearing a C# list box, and this is what we came up with. And all this says is, got a while loop here, while the count, while we have one or more things that are checked, set the check to false. Okay. Then for our clear, I tried doing the same thing, but it didn't work for the checklist box. So this was this was the clear, the list box. Notice how easy that was. Clear selected, boom. I tried doing the same thing for the checklist box, but it didn't like it. That's when I had to do this while loop. Again, I looked online to find that out. All right. Clearing the date time picker. All right, I said just set up a new one and set it to the current date. And it's set to midnight, which isn't maybe great, but it's fine anyway. And then finally, clear the combo box, which is right here. By setting the selected index equal to -1, that means nothing is selected. Okay? All right. So that's all my clear stuff. Then let's take a look at the non-clear stuff, so to speak. Okay? So what happens when I click the calculate button? I set that final results equal to nothing. Then I add the checkbox items. I add the month calendar. I add the date time picker. I add the list box. I add the checklist box. And I add the combo box. All right. Now, the order in which I put these wouldn't matter because when I get to the last, well, the only thing is this last one is where I actually print it out. All right. I did set it up so in the activated routine, not in the load, but in the activated, I want to make sure that the checkbox was set for, St. Louis. I could just change it as well, change that to Wentzville if I wanted to. So if I change that to Wentzville, what you'll notice when I run this is if I look right here, boom, see it changed the picture because this changed. All right. Again, the interface itself isn't much to look at, but it's highly functional, which is what I was shooting for. All right. Then every time in this check change event for either, so for the check change event for either the radio button for St. Louis or the radio button for Wentzville, if either one of those was clicked, either one of those buttons, call determine campus photo. And that's right here, which basically said, hey, if the St. Louis one is checked, okay, go to your root directory and underneath that find images and find stlouis.jpg. Otherwise, if the Wentzville. Now I didn't need to do an else if here because all I have are the two pictures. But with Perryville opening up fairly soon, we might want to add to this in the future. So again, if the St. Louis radio button is clicked, show that picture. Otherwise, if the Wentzville button is picked, show that picture. That should be pretty obvious, or at least hopefully it is. All right. So next, the next one is add checkbox items to final result. And that's right here. Again, I looked online for this. I use these controls a lot, but not exactly in the way that I was using them here. So it was a good learning experience for myself also. What this did was it told me to go through everything that was in that group box. And if it finds a checkbox and that's all that was in there that's checked, then add it. Add the text of that to the final results and then a blank line. And you'll notice I do something similar to this quite a few times. Next is add month calendar. That was here. That was pretty nice because all it said was, hey, just grab the date of what you just found here, for lack of better words. All right, so whatever you just chose, add that date. Next, I chose I put in the add date time picker. And there's the month, and there's the date time. They're not identical, so the code isn't going to be identical. All right. Next is add the list items, list box items, and that one's right here. So again, that goes through it, and it looks and it says if it was selected, add it, and then add a new line when you get done. All right, then we've got the checklist box, a little more work, but the idea is the same. And then finally, we have the combo box value, which I think is down on the bottom here. There it is. And actually, probably what I should have done is I should have grabbed this right here, this message box.show, all of that. That really should be in its own routine. So I'm going to say this here. I'm going to say print final stats. It's going to give me an error because I haven't written it yet. All right, so I need it there. Oopsie, I don't want it there. Want it at the very bottom. So down here, print final stats. And I also want it down at the bottom here. Print final stats. All right, which means I've got to write the routine print final stats, which is fine. Private void print final stats. Drop that in. It should work exactly the same now. Just to show you, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab everything. All right, Wentzville, so we change that. Morning, afternoon, evening, weekend, this. Again, you can see I'm checking everything. And let's even pick something in let's say the day before Thanksgiving. There we go. So you can see everything is selected. So weekends, I'll have to put that in sorted order, and that one really should have been too, but that's fine. We'll fix those in a second. The date selected, there it is, 11/23, 11/23. There's all 7. There's all 7. And a current resident of Missouri. When I click clear, everything is cleared. It goes back to today's date on both of these. That's empty. None are checked. None are selected. None are checked. Neither is checked. And there's no photo. I can go and do exit about to get my information there. Or I can click the about here. You already saw that the clear worked. And if I calculate with nothing chosen, I just get that. All the defaults, and exit. So, let's see. What did I just say I wanted to add here? I don't even remember, but I believe that the way this is set up right now, it's done a good job of showing you the major components in Chapter 12, which again, that was my idea. Okay? So, let's do a save all, and then let's just exit the package. So you can see I was out on a site called stackoverflow.com for a lot of the stuff that I looked at. I also went out to the MSDN, or the Microsoft Developer Network site, for a lot of it. Okay? As mentioned, I think this did a pretty good job of explaining the major things in Chapter 12. I have probably 2 more lectures to do. Might end up being more than that, but at least 2. With the next one, it's going to be on event handling. I haven't written that yet. And the last one will be on file streams. What I'm probably going to do is take 1 or more, possibly even that employee program where we used classes, and we wrote the stuff out to the screen before, but I'll add code to write it out to a file. Okay? And that's pretty much it for right now.